Okay, everybody, good late afternoon spilling into the evening here. We had yet another practice session today, more training camp. Although the most interesting stuff that happened today was not on the field at the VMAC, but that's going to kind of become, I think, the norm as time goes by. So let's talk about what there is to be talked about. First, real quick, let me just say, no Hard Knocks video tonight in all likelihood because I cannot watch the episode right when it drops. I'm not going to be able to watch it until much later. And by the time I'm able to watch it and actually make a video about it, it's going to be too late. So the Hard Knocks video should go up tomorrow morning, and then we'll just proceed from there. Likewise, my Seahawks on SI article on Hard Knocks is going to be a little bit different, and it's going to be tomorrow morning as well. This video is sponsored by Prize Picks. So let's get into a little bit, starting with this little bit of news from Brady Henderson, who outlines the likely timeline on Terrion Arnold with the Seattle Seahawks. And basically, with the news of what's going to happen with Arnold in terms of him being on the exempt list once he signs with the team is probably going to wait until after the last preseason game to actually sign him because there's no point. Because if you sign him, he will count against the 91-man roster for 1 day. Remember, we have a 91-man because of, I think it's Moranguez is the European pipeline player. And then what we're going to do is just sign him after we cut down anyway, because right now what would happen is we sign him, and then for 1 day he counts against the roster, and then he wouldn't count against the list the next day when he goes on the list. So all you would do is deprive yourself of one player that may go elsewhere for 1 day, and there's no point in doing that because they're not going to let him play in the preseason or practice right now anyway. So Terrion Arnold is still going to get signed, but they're going to wait until probably after the preseason. And that does open the door to somebody else signing him, but that strikes me as pretty unlikely. So just because we don't sign Arnold in the next couple of weeks does not mean that we're not going to sign him. So just go ahead and hold your horses on that. But that's not really the big news right now. The big news was, of course, the Seahawks tried out another high-profile veteran cornerback, Trevon Diggs. Trevon Diggs is trying out, and he tried out today for the Seahawks. So that's interesting, right? I could probably make a whole video just about Trevon Diggs and what it means that we're giving him a tryout. But to make it brief, it's definitely an indication this team is not happy with their cornerback spot, and it's an indication that they're willing to try unconventional things to take care of it. Now, Trevon Diggs, I think most of us know Trevon Diggs because he was a high-profile player for a while for the Cowboys. He made an All-Pro team. He made 2 Pro Bowls, but that was several years ago. And over the last couple years, his star has absolutely collapsed. So talking about Trevon Diggs, just to kind of keep it short, maybe I'll make another video tomorrow going a little bit more in depth here. Trevon Diggs has been a great player in this league, but even when he was at his best, he was a deeply flawed player. He was the kind of guy who would get a lot of interceptions, but also give it, he'd also give up a lot in coverage as well. He doesn't really tackle very well. So you put that together with the fact that I think he's more of a man corner, although that might be changing because of all the injuries he's had. I don't really know how he fits in a Mike McDonald defense, but they really want to find another outside corner that they trust. All right, guys, let's take a quick break here to talk a little bit about Prize Picks, currently the #1 sports pick app in America. The app is very easy to use. Check it out to my left here. You can do player picks, where you just pick more or less on a few player stats and lock in your lineup. Or you can pick teams, where you pick winners, spread, or total on any game or fight. The app is available in most states, including California, Texas, and Florida. Right now, they have a great offer. You can play your first $5 lineup and get $150 in lineups if you win. All you have to do is use code HMA when you sign up. It's a brand new offer. Best time possible to get on the app. So get on over there and get to winning that first lineup. So remember, Prize Picks, code HMA. Download the app today, and remember to always gamble responsibly. So, not a fit, but maybe that's not important right now because they're just trying to shore up their depth until Terrion Arnold is allowed to play football. And with the recent developments, it's possible that the Seahawks are looking at Terrion Arnold as somebody for next year and the year after rather than this year. But there's still a good chance that he'll be able to play football at some point this season. So I think that Trevon Diggs is just trying to hedge a little bit and understand that we're looking for depth. We're not looking for a starter, right? You got Witherspoon, you got Job. Those two guys can do the job. I think we have a lot of confidence in both those guys. That's why we offered them money this offseason and we gave them a decent amount of money. Witherspoon, obviously, a lot more. But once you get past those two guys, the only guy on this team that you have at least something of a good feeling about at outside corner is probably Nehemiah Pritchett. And there are limitations with Nehemiah Pritchett. He's having a good camp. He's a good player, but not a great tackler either. So it's a little bit strange, I will admit. This is not the fit that is in my head, the thing that is going to save the Seahawks at outside corner. But again, for the most part, what we got to do is cross our fingers that guys like Witherspoon and Job don't get hurt. Because Julian Neal has missed most of camp. Fuller and Dansby are both 7th-round rookies. And Noah Igbenogany, probably your next man up after Pritchett right now as an outside corner, is 5'10" and ran a 4.5 40 like 6 years ago. So you don't have a lot of great options as soon as one guy goes down. And if you're not a believer in Pritchett, then we basically have no depth on the outside. So we're obviously a little bit desperate here, but I don't think it's a bad thing to be desperate at this spot in this situation. I understand it. Okay, one notable highlight today, because this was a pads day. The team got into full pads. Jadarian Price took part. Don't know exactly how much he did, but Price participated in a padded practice, which means he must be feeling pretty good. So that's a really good sign. That is something that I think is really encouraging. Good sign he'll be able to play on Sunday and be ready for the regular season. Ultimately, he missed about a week, maybe a little bit more. Not a big deal. Not going to sweat that one too much. Now, we didn't hear anything about anybody else to the best of my knowledge. I didn't hear anything about Horton. Didn't hear anything about Eamon Worry. Didn't hear anything about Derek Hall. So not a lot of injury updates, but this one was a much needed kick in the right direction for Jadarian Price. Now, as for what actually happened on the practice field, as usual, these updates are getting more and more thin by the day. I saw Hawk Blogger talking about how the secondary had a really good day. There were a lot of interceptions, which you can't help but wonder if it's related to the fact that this team seems really, really dead set on bringing in another corner. Maybe some of these corners are really eager to show what they can do. Now, my understanding is that Julian Neal is back, so that's probably helping a little bit too, but didn't hear about him specifically necessarily. Just my understanding is that the secondary had a nice little day. As for specifics, Greg Bell had this. Sam Darnold, another really good day. 3 perfect deep throws. Had a Shaheed one as well. So, again, you're hearing the same names over and over and over again this camp. Darnold looks better than ever. Shaheed's awesome. And then you had a Josh Jobe interception of Darnold on a quick slant, the Super Bowl 49 play. So Jobe's a guy who's been up and down so far in camp, and we really need him to be up right now for all the reasons I just went over in this video. So really cool that he's getting it back every now and then. So we like that. And another guy who keeps getting shouted out positively this camp, Montori Foster. Every day we're hearing he's getting things done. And Corbin offered a little bit more specifics as well over on his X account. Jake Bobo had a 27-yard touchdown catch, a diving catch from Drew Lock. And then Foster, the play that was mentioned earlier, he had a touchdown from Lock as well. So those are some of the notable play-by-plays from camp, which, again, getting thinner and thinner. Corbin also called this out. Emmanuel Henderson was doing some punt fielding. Seahawks must have the deepest punt returner room in football. We got Shaheed, we got Horton, we got Henderson, we got even Ricky White, I think, can do it a little bit. We got the guy who did it in the preseason game against Dallas. I can't remember who that was. Was that Foster? Was that Dansby? We got a lot of really good punt returners on this team right now, so pretty exciting there. But not really a lot to talk about on the field. The interesting stuff right now is off the field. Trevon Diggs, can he be fixed? That might be a separate video. I might have to save that one for a separate video, but Trevon Diggs, interesting fit. I'll go ahead and leave it at that for now. All right, see you guys later. Go Hawks. Everyone have a good rest of your night. Probably no more videos later. Like I said, can't really do anything about Hard Knocks tonight, but it's coming. And see you guys soon.